What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 6 of my Total War Warhammer 3 Yuan Bo Immortal Empires campaign. So as we saw last time, a double ambush from Deathmaster Snitch saw him heavily damage Yishi's army, but then fall to the main stack that is out here. It's still fairly damaged, as in it's not at full fighting strength, but it should be more than enough to take care of Kunlun, considering that it barely has any defenses, and I think that if we had the ability to attack immediately without building siege equipment, we'd be able to auto-resolve it. But it's okay, we just wait until next turn, and the settlement will be ours. Snitch did screw himself over. Now, in terms of what we still have remaining to do, we can potentially attack with this army. As the Lokir is here by himself, though we will have to probably watch out for an attack and reprisal by Admiral Canovale, which is, I think, fairly likely to happen. We shall see, though. We are still probably going to attack. Also, between the episodes, I went ahead and took care of some admin, mainly just giving everybody, or every main lord of ours, some items, like so. Gave the Helm of Discord and the Brass Cleaver temporarily to this particular army, mostly because it'll be needed for fighting all of this, considering this isn't really a main army, and then retooled the army on Yuan Bo himself as well, though obviously only for temporary time, or for a temporary time, temporarily, there we go, that's the one, until we get his quest item up and running. Anyway, that is about it for what we have to do item and building wise. There is still diplomacy, and then there is still attack, and oh, we completed our confederation, which means we can confederate again. Imperial wardens are probably not worth it, at least not worth it at the current time, because they only hold Turtle Gate, as the other two elements of the bastion have fallen. But celestial loyalists are pretty necessary, especially considering that Wei Jin is the celestial court, and it makes sense for us to grab this for ourselves. Oh, lovely. So I think we're gonna go with you, celestial loyalists. This should probably give us another army at that, and I fully suspect this will also completely cripple our income. Yeah, okay. Well, that one was predictable, and we'll have to watch out for the public order issues that will come along with it, well, for now, we'll deal with it as it is. You are going to immediately go into the Jade Dragon's Edict for Public Order. We're going to probably...
Celestial General.
Probably delete you. I mean, if Village attacks this, he's just going to attack it. I don't think that there's anything this lord can do, and I don't think we need another lord, yeah. Not at an 800 point cost. You, however, have a full stack. Fervent Questioner is terrible, so we're probably going to actually swap you out, but at least we do have another lord on the field that we can use in the attack on these guys before essentially swapping all the units around between these armies. Actually, I don't want this lord or Yishi, so we're going to maybe get a different kind of lord. I'm not entirely sure what to do with that yet, but because of the close proximity of this army, Mr. Qian here can move out here, and then we can destroy Kunlun with great ease. Anyway, now that that is done, we're going to have you, sir, attack Lokir Filhart. Alright, and we'll attack at the settlement directly rather than having him come in as a reinforcement, just so that we don't have to fight again. And oh my. Huh. Valiant defeat, eh? Probably due to Lokir himself being very, very scary, which, you know what, fair enough. Fair enough. We'll give the banner of Feng Shi to you, let's say, Jade Warriors, just in the center, and then we'll see what we can do. 125 range on the Dark Shards is fortunately fairly short. They, in fact, do get outranged by the Peasant Archers, but that Reaper Bolt Thrower will most definitely be a problem, and if we take too much casualties, we won't be able to deal with the Black Arc, so both potentially an issue. Anyway, that's about all I gotta say. Let's get to it.
We face only fools, selfish, cowardly fools.
Stone and steel!
Cathay's resolve shall overcome.
Alrighty, here we go. Let's see if we can pull this up. We do have our Regiment of Renown of Celestial Dragon crossbows, so at least they should be dishing out a very significant amount of damage, plus the bandits of the Silver Road peasant archers, which should be a little bit of extra damage as well. Oh, they have little bucklers. They're shielded, whereas, yeah, they got a little shield. They still only have 15 armor, mine, but, well, they're bandit peasants, so that's hardly surprising. Anyway, here we go. Should be a pretty interesting time. The enemy does not have casters in Lokir's army, at least, but it does have that one Reaper Bolt Thrower, which is apparently targeting our peasant horses. That's actually fine. I would actually rather it target the peasant horses than our main stack, which is trying to get to Lokir before the secondary army arrives. We also have our birdie boys waiting in the wings, and are going to go and attack the enemy after moving over these mountains in a little bit. Just going to prepare for it. I love how high they can fly up this thing. I always get some cool shots of the of aerial units, or flying units rather, going over the buildings. Plus, I do believe the buildings shield us from attacks from the enemy artillery piece. Anyway, the goal is to... I like how the enemy has actually set up a sort of a boxy-like formation protecting its artillery and its range units. Gotta appreciate that, as we're going to be doing something similar ourselves. I see those Black Arc support spells coming down on us, and we're actually missing as we move forward. And ooh, the enemy is firing its artillery piece at the best unit to fire it on, the Celestial Dragon crossbows, but they are firing back. It looks like their attack ability is the same animation that the Sisters of Avalorn do, except they're using crossbows. At least it's very similar. It looks very, very nice, though. We shall see. And the relative effectiveness depends on their accuracy. It looks like the Reaper Bolt Throwers has not thus far taken a lot of damage, but hopefully we can fix that with a few more shots. Looks like the enemy is sufficiently annoyed, and the Reaper Bolt Throwers are taking damage now. And more of our units are firing, but the enemy is firing back with its Black Arc support and its units moving forward as well. Black Arc Corsairs and the Master charging forward towards our Lord Magistrate. We're also going to summon some Ancestral Warriors just to get in the enemy's way while the battle is well and truly underway. Focus fire seems to be working for us, as the enemy artillery piece is broken and will no longer be a threat. One of the Dark Shard units is also just about destroyed, as we're trying to concentrate fire with as many of our range units as possible. It looks like our Peasant Horsemen did manage to survive, and they're going to be able to either chase enemies off or hit the enemy Dark Shards, while our Crowmen are also moving in to do the same and prevent the enemies from coming back, and also to tie up the enemy range. Once again, we will be ignoring Lokir, just like we ignored him during the siege, or at least tried our best to ignore him during the siege. Damn, that's a lot of range firepower coming in. Yeah, we don't have the ability to easily bring him down, and I'd rather bring everybody else down first. Oh, I love those magical arrows. They're really lovely to look at, aren't they? Quite the spectacle. We should get some Sisters of Avalorn in this particular army to mix and match the magical arrows. Would be nice if we can and get some high elf allies, and that is looking like it will be a possibility. Alright, and how are we doing here? Though I would like to see what the comparison of Sisters of Avalorn with the Celestial Dragon crossbows will be at full buffs. Anyway, the first of the main enemy army is destroyed, or the first targets are destroyed, which is all the range units, which are no longer a threat, and now we can freely target the enemy melee units while continuing to ignore Lokir as well. Looks like this particular unit of Jade Warriors is going to have the worst time of it, as it is guarding the flank, and flanks do tend to be the most dangerous position for an army. They say it's the rear guard, but the flanks are always the ones that are getting quite ripped apart, especially due to the way that the AI tends to target armies and try to get around your flanks. It looks like the enemy has activated its murderous prowess, and now the forces that remain are going to be all that much more dangerous, especially Lokir, but we're just going to continue ignoring him once again. Oh, nice little fortress in the background as well. Nice. Alright, looks like some Dread Spears are still holding. And probably a few Black Ark Corsairs at least, but we're gonna charge into the back of said Dread Spears with those Crowmen, and between them dishing out a decent amount of damage, being kind of glass cannony. I don't expect the poor Dread Spears to survive. Oh, I love the little diving animations that they do. That's adorable. Oh, they're so fragile but so cute. I can't not use them. Alright, there we go. And it looks like this one unit of Dread Spears is running, but the reinforcing army has arrived. We're moving these Jade Warriors away in the hopes of destroying the enemy melee units that are chasing them around. The enemy Master is nearly dead, so it looks like our Lord Magistrate, at least with the help of a band of merry Jade Warriors, is able to defeat a single Master, but Lokir is perfectly fine. And yeah, we're just pretend he doesn't exist, guys. If anything, that'll probably piss him off even more, that he's being ignored. Do that to, like, somebody like Scarbrand or somebody. Can you... I can just imagine the rage at being completely ignored. As a non-threat, well, yeah, non-threat may not be quite right, but that's probably what he'd assume. Anyway, the reinforcing army is charging in, and we're sort of leading it around with this one unit of Jade Warriors. They may have been on the flank, but they certainly managed to achieve a lot. Ooh. Oh man, I'm loving watching these magical crossbows. They're great. Oh, and it looks like a unit of Witch Elves just barely managed to make it in. We still have another summoning of Ancestral Warriors as well, so we're going to bolster our line with another unit of the Jade Warriors with Halberds this time. I really like the Ancestral Warriors color scheme as well. It's ghostly, but nice. Anyway, with that, I do believe the enemy army will shatter. Lokir completely fine, but with everybody else destroyed, he will fight no longer. It's great for us that he is not unbreakable, as otherwise it would most definitely have been something of a problem. Yeah, I think a great job to our Celestial Dragon crossbows, who did manage to nearly run out of ammunition, but and did get quite a bit of kills and damage as well. And that's without their, that's without the buffs, so they will get stronger over time. I don't believe we technically need to destroy any of the units here because, well, it's an attack on a settlement, and the second army is also in march stance as well, so just getting a few extra shots out just for fun. And because I was really enjoying watching those magical crossbows hit. Alrighty. Always love some units with fireworks. Anyway, with that, we're just going to speed it up as we do a few more seconds of chasing, and the battle will be ours. And there we go. Completely necessary, I assure you. A close victory, but honestly, we weren't really as badly damaged as we very well could have been. Now we're going to have to see whether we get attacked in reprisal. Alrighty, well, a decent job, I would say. Obviously, there was no way we were bringing Lokir down, but the rest of his army did fall. We did fairly decent with at least one of the units of Iron Hail Gunners, though one of the units didn't really outperform any of the Peasant Archers, which is a little bit unfortunate. Makes me think that there isn't too much use for these guys as compared to just getting Crane Gunners and out-teching them. Instead, let's say they are no Chaos Dwarf blunderbusses by comparison. 187 kills and 16k damage in the Grace of Chua Yin, and, well, that's hardly surprising considering they're the Regiment of Renown of Celestial Dragon crossbows. The Magistrate himself did very little himself, because he's a Magistrate, so, yeah. Anyway, we're going to occupy the place, and we're going to see if this will be sufficient for us to defend against Admiral Kuno-Vale, which will most likely attack this army next turn. Don't really have anything else we can do other than perhaps get Unyielding, or maybe actually Eastern Fires. And, oh, Sure Aim and Eastern Fires are... oh, okay, so I guess Eastern Fires will be later. For now, we'll want Sure Aim instead, eh? Okay, well, if that's what we want to do, then that's what we want to do. And Jade Warrior crossbows, it's actually not that much of a, it's actually not that much of a buff, unfortunately. But the thing is, oh, and then on the other hand, maybe we want to actually save the points to get into tactical prowess and the good stuff up here in this tree. Maybe that would be an even better ability. Do we save, or do we potentially prepare for fighting Admiral Canovail? Both are decent options, and I'm 99% sure Canovail will attack us next turn as soon as we stop. Yeah, you know what? I think we're better off getting sure aim just to get a little bit of bonus range. This is a ranged army, an all-ranged army after all. I don't know if we're going to keep this lord in it, but for now, we certainly will. He doesn't really have that much in the way of buffs for the range units, although the Vanguard deployment could certainly be helpful. It wouldn't really help an army that will be relying specifically on range units, though on the other hand, supply line operations will give us ammunition. And the reason the Vanguard deployment isn't as useful would be the fact that we would be using artillery in this army later on. But anyway, and that'll be a question for another time. For now, let's see if there's anything else we need to do this turn, and I do not believe that there is, so we can skip. I sent the setup there, either the commandment. I did not do anything for the buildings, however. And perhaps I should. Let's delete you. We'll keep this here at Weijin for now, in case we need to build these units, though there's a decent likelihood that we'll be deleting that shortly. I also expect Village to attack us next turn and take Mingzhu, but we have plenty of units here to deal with him afterwards, or plenty of armies, or whatever. Anyway, with that, we will end the turn, and we'll see what happens. Alright, settlement besieged, Kunlun, yes we know, Pestilich, will it... oh, what? The northern provinces are attacking Pestilich. Okay, well, good for the northern provinces. We fortunately did not lose any units, and it looks like they're beside Kunlun. I don't believe the northern provinces are currently fighting Village, which is why he didn't attack them. Peace treaty, no. That's obviously not going to happen. You sued for peace, rather, far too late, my ratty little friend. We are, I believe, good. Surprisingly, Village did not declare war on us. And what do we have here? 2 Jade Warrior crossbows, or 3 Jade Warrior crossbows, versus 2 Jade Warriors with halberds. On the one hand, this army certainly needs more melee stuff, but it also needs more range stuff as well. And these are the non-shielded variety, correct? But then again, the Jade Warrior halberds are also non-shielded variety, but together with the Iron Hail Gunners, I think we gotta go with the halberds, even though this is more or less a ranged army, and I can't remember for the life of me remember which units of this Lord Magistrate buffs. I wish we could see what the special of this army is, because what if it's just range? Because he does get the Crane Gunners and the Fire Rain Rockets as bonuses. Then it would be a waste to do this. Though on the other hand, once again, we still probably need melee units. You know what, still get Sword Brothers. We could always get range afterwards. Keep it relatively balanced, reasonably balanced, I should say. Yuan Bo, you're gonna hit the Ziggurat of Dawn right now, and it looks to be undefended. So we should be able to auto-resolve it, and then Skeggy will be the last settlement remaining to the Lizards. Auto-resolve, little to no damage, occupy. Lovely, and keep getting buffs for yourself. This also means you've left this territory, which will be dropping in public order fairly significantly. I should have built while Yuan Bo was there, but oh well. Too late, not a big deal. Now, you guys. And oh, you're out here. Village is moving away. I can't say I quite expected that. I doubt that he's going to attack Turtlegate. Or maybe he is going to attack Turtlegate. I don't know if he can, though. Can he take away Jin? I don't think so. We'll see if he tries to move towards it. But for now, if these guys aren't going to do anything, I'd rather take out Kunlun and move towards the Dark Elves. Surprisingly, extremely surprisingly, I should say, Admiral Canovail, Canwovale, oh wow, I've been mispronouncing that for a while, did not attack us here. which is interesting, but at the same time it means we can't really move until he does, so there's an annoyance element to that as well. Anyway, you are going to auto-resolve. No, you're not going to auto-resolve. Really, this? This. It's just a bunch of clan rats and Skaven slaves. Well, we probably wouldn't want to attack without the siege towers. And we could move this army in, or we could just ignore this and move this army out instead. I'm a little bit concerned about these... Oh, they're not at war. Maybe not as concerned then. I think we're better off moving this army down here to attack Jiju next turn. I'm gonna hope that there isn't a full stack nearby. Come on, come on, come on. Okay, no, it's not a full stack. We should be okay. Rather than reinforcing these guys, and then we'll just allow you to keep building the siege equipment for a turn. I'll also allow you to heal a little bit. It ain't much, but it's okay. We could also just move you back. Might be able to force these guys into combat. Nah, just heal up. Heal up, it's fine. We're probably gonna join these armies together afterwards anyway, but for now it's not a major concern. Yishi, you stay there. I guess you're staying there as well, even though you're costing us money because you have to sit there and wait until Canovale does something. You are going to keep recruiting. Same stuff, unfortunately, mostly because we don't have other options right now, and we'll wait until we get up to the next tier and actually get those military buildings. Gotta get a little bit more troop variety, and I'm working on it, guys. I'm working on it, I swear. But it's gonna take a little bit of time for our growth to grow because of the negative public order that we have in a lot of places. The growth is stunted, as it were. Yeah, oh well. You are going to also go for this building, I believe. It was this building, right? Yeah, oh. You're the wrong building. You should be this building. Oh, no, wait, you're the right building. Yeah, no, never mind, never mind. And oh, hello, we have stone at 4 again. Can we declare any commercial districts yet, or is nowhere up at tier 3 yet? It doesn't look like it. The Owl of the Crimson Skull is nearly there. But that's about it. Okay, well, what can you do? Working on it. And doesn't look like there's much we can do this particular turn. We can take a look at... what the heck is this? Oh, Daughters of the Forest. Mother Ostankia, aka Baba Yaga, is all the way out here. Oh, we can be friends with Kislev. Oh, I like this very much. Yes, yes, yes. And... 2,000 money. You know what? I'm not going to take your money. And the reason I don't want to take their money is I want them to keep their money so that they don't get too weak. This way we can take all of this territory, transfer this to them, and they can act as our bulwark. I'm just going to hope that they aren't enemies of the High Elves, as that would otherwise be quite unfortunate. But being a relatively strong faction right now, this works out quite well for us. Join war against... Yeah, we're not going to join the war against them right now. We're busy. Propose offer. Very nice.
Who calls?
And hopefully this faction does decently well here. And it does look like they are doing decently well at the current time. Yeah, okie dokie. And next up, let's see. Yuan Bo is stuck. I don't believe there's any other Diplo to do. And I know I just took a look at Diplo. I'm sorry. But I will check again just in case. I forgot something important, and I don't believe I did, which means we can skip. Double check buildings, and open, and another turn. Alrighty. Not much to do otherwise. Miao Ying, what you want? You want a defensive alliance. That's fine for now, as in we're not going to do it because we'll just keep you strong instead. And who is this? Oh, you're going to attack. Oh, I was not expecting that. Full stack to get in range. Well, that ain't great. That ain't great at all. Well, you're gonna have to fight for your life, my friend. You have no magics. I should not have gone for March stance. That's what I get. I deserve it if I lose this army this way. Here we go.
Soldiers, you are the backbone of Grand Cathay. The true bastion of this country. Show our enemy that Cathay's soldiers are to be feared.
Alright, well apparently the enemy doesn't know that they are, to be fair. And damn, boy is big. He's almost like Grimgor towering over the boys. I do really like how the Celestial Generals match the Jade Warriors, and I suppose they'd probably match the Celestial Dragon units as well, but it looks right. It looks nice and on theme with the similar types of armors. Anyway, this is going to be interesting. We're all very tired due to my idiocy rather, and being in March stance, so yeah. It's gonna be a do or die moment for our first Celestial General, but at least we'll get to see one of these units fight, finally. And ooh, is that a shattered Terracotta Sentinel, perhaps? Yeah, by the looks of it, it is. And all these massive thorns growing around it. Pretty neat. Looks like the Celestial General is going to get hit by a Spirit Leech and then move on in to... is it like a preemptive strike on the ground? It's kind of neat. You know, especially with the symbol there. Looks like he's going to be facing off against an enemy Beastmaster here. Hi, Beastmaster. Stats are, I would say, fairly similar. Although, technically speaking, the Beastmaster should be a weaker lord. He does have significantly higher melee defense, so it's going to be hard to bring him down in that regard. The two can keep exchanging blows for a little while, though it looks like it's so far going in the favor of the enemy, but considering we're exhausted, that does make decent amounts of sense. Anyway, while these two continue to duel in the middle of the forest, everybody else will engage as the lines, as in not lions, because we don't have lions in here yet. The lines will clash, but it's not really the melee lines that we care about. The main advantage that we have here is we outnumber the enemy melee, which is fairly rare in my experience, at least from the armies that I have a tendency to make. So these guys have all of these piles of dark shards that are in the background, and we're going to do our best to charge as many Jade Warriors directly at the enemy range units as we can. Distract them, prevent them from firing, and if they cannot fire, that's more than half of their army disabled and unable to do anything. So Jade Warriors, it's all you. Both flanks charging as many extra Jade Warriors as we can, while as few as we can are holding the main line and distracting the enemy melee units. And to be fair, this is a lot of Dark Shards that are achieving absolutely nothing, and the ones that are still firing are currently being attacked by focus fire from our various range units. Get a little bit of action for our Iron Nail Gunners as well. Iron Hail Gunners. I guess they could try to stuff some nails in there. Might work. Alrighty, and they've also flanked the enemy main line where our Jade Warriors are outnumbered and exhausted, but these guys should be able to do decent amounts of damage even through a forest like this. Alright, Mounts of Power is still very much in the enemy's favor, but it should hopefully go down as we continue engaging the enemy range units. In the meantime, unfortunately, our Celestial General has dropped to about a third of his HP, while the enemy Beastmaster is chasing him around and is basically fine. And the two fought each other, but it looks like the Celestial General does not have enough stats to take that in a one-on-one, at least at the current time. Though we'll try this lord. We'll have at least one of these guys leading an army, maybe more, depending on which lords I end up using more often. On the bright side, though, it looks like, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 enemy range units are currently engaged by our own melee, and we're going to march forward to engage the rest as fast as possible. Our own range units are doing a good job flanking the enemy and firing directly while into their flanks. And I suppose one of the benefits of having fewer units of melee in the main line means that there are more exposed enemy units that we can fire upon with our range units, and don't expose as many of our own units to friendly fire, which is always a good thing. Anyway, the exchanges continue, and I still expect the Jade Warrior should be superior to the enemy Dread Spears and Bleak Swords, especially considering the massive disparity in the armor stats, plus 50 armor on our Jade Warriors. And considering the armor piercing in Dark Elven armies comes from their Dark Shards, I don't see them really easily getting through the Jade Warriors. That said, they do have their Murderous Prowess active, but a little bit late, I imagine, as most of the enemy range units have been cleared out at this point, and all of them are still unable to fire. This was probably the only way we could win this, in the sense that we would not have won a ranged engagement with them, or shootout rather. That was just not going to happen. But hey, this works out pretty well in my opinion. The artillery achieved very little, the Dark Shards achieved very little, and now it's just a matter of running down the remaining enemy melee units. Although there are some reasonably close fights here, this Jade Warrior unit is down to about a third of its HP. The remnants of these Bleak Swords are still holding because of their murderous prowess, but it looks like are about to rout and will continue taking shots to the back from our range units as well. And with that, I do believe the chain rout is finally here. Turned out to be a pretty darn decent battle. Got some decent action for our Iron Hail Gunners. These guys got nearly 100 kills to their name as well, matching or outdoing the other range units and the various Jade Warriors. But you gotta give this particular battle to the numbers of Jade Warriors. Though I guess a lot of the battles so far have to have been given to the Jade Warriors as well. But in this particular case, because they were able to prevent the enemy range from doing anything, and the enemy had such an advantage to it. Enemy Sorceress will hopefully be shot down. We do have to do our best to destroy as many of the enemy units as possible, as obviously we were in March stance and the enemy will, well, their armies will remain alive. Come on, a few more hits. Alright, can we drop this Lord? 353 HP. Oh, so close to the edge. Yeah, looks like they're gonna get out. Oh well, what can you do? Couple more volleys would have done it for us, but oh well, no big deal. The rest of the units will do our best to chase down. At the very least, we got a lot of those Dark Shards destroyed by the looks of it, and at least a decent amount of the Bleak Swords. Unfortunately, elves run quite a bit faster than Cathayan troops at the very least. I remember remarking recently, I think in... I don't remember which campaign it was. I think it was the Malekith campaign, that the Norskins run faster than the Elven troops, and that always shocked me, because I would figure that humans should be slower than elves, but there the Norskins do run faster, although that might be Chaos steroids. If something's odd, just assume that the Chaos Gods did it. Anyway, our single unit of Peasant Horsemen is working overtime trying to chase the enemies down, though it didn't really achieve too much in this particular episode, as it was too busy trying to tie up Dark Shards. Nonetheless, still managed to pull it off, and this army from the Confederation still manages to survive, despite my, let's say, unnecessary use of the March stance. And now look at the little terracotta sentinels. I didn't know that there were little ones as well. That's adorable. That is adorable. Why do they make big ones and little ones? I love it. Alrighty, well, it was a nice little fight, but I was pretty disappointed in the Celestial General and losing one-on-one against the enemy. Level 1, mind you, Beastmaster. Beastmasters are not fighty lords, and these guys are, but I guess these guys are supposed to be sort of a infantry mincing lord rather than a duelist? Is that perhaps why they got, they did so bad? Barely even hurt the enemy Beastmaster in a one-on-one. We'll see what they prefer, how they perform in duels later in the game with regards to their, when they have their buffs. Now, we're going to heal up, and at the very least, these armies are still destroyed, so I'm happy with that, and we didn't lose the army we got out of that Confederation, which would have been unfortunate. And, there it is. It was expecting Village to attack us at any moment, and he is coming for us, so we'll have to react to that. You want the defensive alliance, but we're not going to do that right now. Same with you at the current time. Just keep doing what you're doing. And, okay, that looks like that's the end of turn. We got ourselves another Brass Cleaver. Mazdamundi's back, though I expect not for very long. We should be able to attack him shortly as well. Von Karstein Blade is now available as well from the caravan completion. Thanks for the tip for that particular caravan. Gotta try out every single caravan as well, just to see with regards to what we can get out of them. Now, as for who should be wielding this thing, I mean, I guess for now, since Yuan Bo does not have a weapon, I guess we could give it to him, but on the other hand, he doesn't really need it, which is kind of the thing. He isn't really being hurt by anything that he encounters, at least not so far. That may not be quite true for other enemies, or for other lords rather, not enemies, or for our own lords, I should say. Now, Village is moving closer, most likely to attack Mingzhu, which is not surprising. It will mean that we'll probably have to let it go. Ah, damn. The northern provinces might in fact allow it to fall. We can still not auto-resolve this, I'm tempted to just auto-resolve and combine this army into one, or we could do a full-on storm the walls sort of assault next episode. That's also an option. You guys let me know what you think. I just think it will be a unnecessarily easy battle because it's all clan rats and Skaven slaves, but who knows. Man, that's a lot of enemy range units left, but just like last battle, if this army fights it again, and fight it again it shall, they should be able to just overwhelm them. And this one we will fight because, well, we kind of have to. Not much of a choice in the matter. This guy's still moving around, but we can't leave Chimai until we can deal with it somehow. I suppose we could try an attack. We could also always move out and see what he does, / where he goes.
Our path is clear.
We could also, I suppose, go out to sea and just chase him down. That might be an option as well. But anyway, I think with that we are pretty much out of time once more, and I am going to call the episode here. Let's just kill off Mazdamundi again, and he's going to run. We'll chase him down as he has nowhere to run, really. Even though, of course, he's going to go all the way around the mountains, but we should still be good. Unfortunately, we might not be able to reach Skeggy after this, however. And there we go, decisive victory. Should be an easy little fight. Fare thee well, Mazdamundi, and we did get a little bit of damage on us, but not too bad. Hey, Jade Line Whisperer. Shouldn't Yuan Bo automatically have that? And we will, I guess, attack Skeggy next turn. We'll grab you Channeling Stance, and then... yeah, that looks like that'll be an easy little fight. Maybe next episode we'll give it a try we'll give a try to the quest battle if possible, or possibly the next episode after that, depending, because we may have to have multiple fights over on the other side of the world, which is still providing many battles of interest. Anyway, calling it here, more Yuan Bo next time as we continue to advance pretty much everywhere we can, so stay tuned for more battle variety because it never ends. Don't forget to leave a like and comment. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.